Good afternoon. My name is Marika Schreder, bringing you the latest global developments as they unfold. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa will not resign from office, the head of state announced last night during an address to the nation. His statement comes after the Constitutional Court ruled that the report from a preliminary inquiry in 2022 into allegations against the president regarding a theft at his Phala Phala farm in 2020 must be referred to the National Assembly's Impeachment Committee for review. The report in question found prima facie evidence that the president may have committed serious misconduct and a serious violation of the Constitution.
There have been calls from certain quarters calling on me to resign. At the same time, there have also been a number of calls for me not to resign. I therefore address you this evening to clearly state my position. The matter before the Constitutional Court arose from the report of an independent panel that was appointed by the National Assembly in September of 2022 in terms of Section 89 of the Constitution of the Republic to conduct a preliminary inquiry into certain allegations that had been made against me. These allegations related to a theft that took place at my farm in February 2020. The independent panel concluded that the information that was presented to it disclosed prima facie that the president may have committed serious misconduct and a serious violation of the Constitution. The panel concluded that as the president may have acted in a way that was inconsistent with my office and may have exposed myself to a situation involving a conflict of official responsibility and my private affairs. On the 13th of December 2022, in accordance with its rules, the National Assembly voted not to refer the independent panel's report to an impeachment committee that would consider the veracity and, where required, the seriousness of the charges contained in the motion. The Constitutional Court has now ruled on the basis of what it found in the National Assembly rules that the National Assembly exercise on this matter in 2022 should be set aside. The court has accordingly ordered that the report of the independent panel be referred to the impeachment committee of the National Assembly.
And over in the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has similarly echoed President Ramaphosa's refusal to resign, addressing the Labour Party's heavy setbacks in last week's local elections, where they lost 1,496 council seats. Starmer told citizens last night that he would not resign as Prime Minister. His statement comes despite a negative 48 approval rating prior to the election, and reports that over 80 Labour MPs have called for his resignation as of today, enough to trigger a leadership challenge.
Prime Minister, back in 2021, when Labour lost hundreds of council seats in the Hartlepool by-election, you thought about resigning as Labour leader, explaining, this is quoting you, "I didn't feel I should be bigger than the party." But these results, this moment, is so much worse than then. You've lost nearly 1,500 councillors, 40 councils, you've lost Wales. Haven't you, for one moment, thought you should step aside in the interests of the party and country? And if you haven't, why haven't you? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Beth. I think what we witnessed with the last government was the chaos of constantly changing leaders. And it cost this country a huge amount. A huge amount. And I'll tell you who paid the price. It was working people. They paid the price of this. They are still paying the price of this. A Labour government will not inflict that on our country again. We were elected with a mandate to change this country because of what had gone before. And that is what we will do. Yes, I acknowledge the frustration. Yes, I acknowledge the results are tough. Yes, I acknowledge that we've lost brilliant representatives across the United Kingdom. And I have a responsibility for that. But I also have a responsibility to deliver the change that we were elected and that we promised this country. And I'll deliver on that. Thank you very much, Beth.
Prime Minister Starmer is also facing pressure beyond the ballot box. This Saturday, May 16th, millions of citizens from across England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland are expected to convene in central London for the Unite the Kingdom rally. Organised by free speech activist Tommy Robinson, the event is described as an opportunity for UK citizens to unite and make their voices heard against a government that prioritises open borders and mass migration over the interests of its own people. However, during last night's address, Prime Minister Starmer openly admitted that his government is working to ban international figures such as Dutch activist Eva Vlaardingerbroek from entering the UK for the event, labelling them as far-right agitators.
Did you guys see that Starmer now actually admitted that he actively, personally banned myself and a number of other right-wing commentators from traveling to the United Kingdom? And the reason he gave for that was that he said that we are far-right agitators who will set back communities because we oppose diversity.
And you'll see it again on Saturday at a march designed to confront and intimidate this diversity and this diverse country. That is why this Labour government will block far-right agitators from travelling to Britain for that event. Because we will not allow people to come to the UK to threaten our communities and spread hate on our streets.
Now, the tone deafness of that is so astonishing, to be honest, because, I mean, you know, someone like me traveling to the United Kingdom for one day to give a speech, because that's what it would be, would set back communities. But the mass immigration, the replacement migration of your native population with Africans and Arabs coming in with hundreds of thousands.
And across the pond in the United States, the Trump administration continues its efforts to bring an end to the Iran conflict. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office on Monday, President Donald Trump stated that the Iranian people are ready to take to the streets against the regime but lack weapons. However, a previous attempt by the US Congress to supply guns and ammunition via the Kurds failed after the group decided to keep the weapons for themselves.
But in Iran, they have the moderates that dying to make a deal, and then you have the lunatics, and I guess they're a little bit afraid of the lunatics, but and why not? The level of ferocity for protest, you know, the people are watching it. They want to go out on the streets. They have no weapons. They have no guns. We thought the Kurds were going to give us weapons, but the Kurds disappointed us. The Kurds take. They have a great reputation in Congress. Congress says, oh, they fight so hard. No, they fight hard when they get paid. So I'm very disappointed in the Kurds, but they were given. I said it wasn't going to work, by the way. I just have to say it. I disagreed with what they did. They gave it. I said, they'll never get there. And I was right. I like to be right. In this case, too bad, but we sent some guns with ammunition, and they were supposed to be delivered, but they kept it. I said they're going to keep it, but what do I know? I've only been doing this a short period of time. What do I know?
President Trump further stated that the ongoing US-Iran ceasefire is at its weakest point, adding that it's on life support. The president's response follows Iran's most recent peace proposal, wherein Tehran reportedly offered only limited nuclear concessions, demanding sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz and war reparations from the US.
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place?
What?
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place?
It's unbelievably weak. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support. They understand these are all medical people. Dr. Oz, life support is not a good thing. Do you agree?
Bad prognostic.
I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living.
And for more on the latest developments making international headlines, stay connected to the Love World Network channels.